Hey, good morning, everyone. It is Monday. I see you, Marion Jackson. I see you, Felicia and Robert Holman. I see you, Kim Edmondson. I see you all this morning. Come on in here. I see you, Fred Jones. As you come in here, do me a favor, hit that like button and also hit that share button. We would greatly appreciate it. It helps with the algorithm and it helps people get their alerts pushed to them and it helps notify that they're here, that we're here and we're on the air. I see you, Adrian, coming in from YouTube, and I see you, Deborah Sneed, as well. Good morning to all of you. If you are in the Central Ohio area, I'm sure you got some really nice snow on yesterday. You know, it's interesting. I was sharing with some friends of mine. I said, when you never hear the weather people like go through a tizzy that there was going to be a storm, it's like then that snow never comes. But when they say nothing, it seems to appear. I had no idea we were getting snow. So it's beautiful snow. It was very interesting to see, and it fell for a long time. So I'm not for sure the total inches, but if you're in Central Ohio or anywhere really in Ohio, I think it was even snowing in Cincinnati, was it? Or was that Buffalo Bills? I don't know. Well, one of the places it was snowing. So it was just pretty to see. It's so interesting the weather these days. We don't know if it's going to be a blizzard or if it's going to be, I don't know, 60 degrees. So that is what's happening. I'm so glad that all of you are on here. We have people on our podcast. We want to say good morning to you and audio as well. So we're on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. The biggest chat is here on Facebook. So if you want to hang out with us, come on over to facebook.com/news and motion. Make sure you like and follow as well. All right, y'all, we have a lot of news we want to bring to you. But again, I just want to say good morning if you're watching us live. And if you're tuning in later in the day, I just want to say hello to you. Y'all, it is Monday, January the 23rd, 2023. I am your host, Gail Dudley. Yeah, we are almost knocking on 3 years of doing this, and it continuously brings me joy. I see you, Rosanna. Good morning to you. So I just want to say welcome to all of you, and thank you for allowing me to spend a part of your day with you. We are aggregated news. Hi, Camille, and what that means is that we pull news from different sources. We determine what we're going to bring to you on that morning. We break it apart. We give you relevant commentary mixed with the inspirational message, and of course, we have a call to action as well. So we have a lot going on, but we want to bring you the facts, and we pride ourselves on doing that. First off, we have a sponsor for the day. So Isaiah is going to pop up that graphic, y'all. This is our Amber Mabry. She's a dynamic wife, mompreneur, and co-author who enjoys being creative, expanding her entrepreneurial lifestyle, meeting people, and connecting with big thinkers. Amber is the owner of A Paying Designs, a design company that serves nonprofit organizations, entrepreneurs, and business owners with professional graphic design and marketing solutions. Y'all, Amber does the Ready magazine publication for us. She does a lot of different graphics for me as well, along with Carl Wright. But Amber, she's an out of the box leader who enjoys immersing herself into projects of kindness and community endeavors. She has raised thousands of dollars for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. In 2020, she created an online community group focused on relationships called Marriage Real Talk. Recently, Recently, she launched Thrive on Purpose Partnership Group, where she encourages and coaches women to live intentionally to reach their goals. Amber has a motto that's called Live out loud, be unapologetically great. So, y'all, her information is right there on the graphic. Amber, Amber MabryThrives.com. You'll see that and her phone number where you can reach her. So, y'all, she's one of our sponsors. So, thank you, Amber, for joining us, News in Motion and sponsorship. Many of you saw Hester's graphic last week, and some of you are asking, well, how can I do that? We can tell you how. It is $50 per placement. If you would pop that up, Isaiah, thank you. It's a promo spot right here on News in Motion. For more information, you can email us, but it is $50 per placement. Y'all, that's a lot. That's not a lot to get your information out there. What you do get is a lot of promo. You get it on all of our platforms. It is spoken about on all of our podcast platforms, our audio, and it never goes away. It stays there. So if you have a business, a service, a product, whatever it is, send us the graphic. It has to be professional grade. Send us the graphic and we will get it up there. We want to help promote your business. So $50 per placement. What do I mean by per placement? If you have a graphic on Monday, that's a placement. If you have a graphic on Tuesday, that's a placement. So every time we place it is $50. But we work that out ahead of time. We send you the invoice, you send us the graphic, we approve it. Bam, we put it up there. Some of you are asking about commercials, 20, 30, 60 seconds commercial. They have to be professional grade. There's a different price for that. Just email us at newsinmotionwithgail@gmail.com and we will get that to you. I see you, Shardini. I see you, Lewis Pryor. I see you, Stephanie Burbridge Hall. I see you, Judy Neal. I see you, Gwendolyn, coming in from YouTube. So, y'all, what is happening? Well, I'm going to tell y'all what happened. What happened is that the boys fell. Y'all, I don't know why I watched that game. I'll tell you why, really. I watched it from beginning to end. I would not communicate with my siblings on our group chat because my brother and my youngest sister are Cowboy fans. My son and my sister in law, my brother's wife, are 49ers fans. So I just tuned into that game. Kenny is not with us today, y'all. He's getting a follow up to his surgery from December. So I at least had to give y'all this information. Them boys failed, the 49ers won. So the final score was 19-12. They were in 49ers Nation. How do you really win when you're in another person's home? But anyway, Kansas City Chiefs topped also Jacksonville Jaguars 27-20. Despite an injury to make the fifth straight AFC championship game. So that's all I have for y'all today when it comes to sports. I see you, Anita Dawson. Good morning, Pastor Overflow. Kim Miller Emerson said, them boys went down. They went down. They went down. And it was so strange. It's like, oh, they're doing this is a field goal game or what? And then finally, the 49ers scored a touchdown. I was like, what is happening? Why can't anybody get into that end zone? So just really interesting game. All right, y'all. The Washington Post is reporting. This is coming straight from the Biden administration. President Biden will tap Jeff Zink for his next chief of staff. He will replace Ron Klein, who is expected to depart in the coming weeks, according to 3 people familiar with the matter. Since I wrote this yesterday, Klein did come out and say he was departing. Klein will leave after Biden's State of the Union address on February the 7th. Now, the New York Times reported all of this first. Klein, who has been in the role longer than any other Democratic president's chief of staff, is expected to remain in his current role even some time after that to help his successor acclimate and achieve. I love that about people when they stay around. So that is happening. So don't think, oh, wow, it's because of documents somebody's getting up out of there. No, it's not because of that. It's just ready for him to do that. 6 more documents are found. I don't know about you all. And I don't want to come in here without facts, but all of a sudden these documents are popping up all over the place. There's something about that I just cannot wrap my mind around it. And I'm trying to figure out what's really going on. So let me ask all of you, what's really going on? These documents that were just found at Biden's personal residence in Wilmington, Delaware, officials said over the weekend, they're always popping up over the weekend. Like, you can't get them over during the week. Like, what is going on here? Y'all, items are said to be from both his 4-decade Senate tenure and his time as vice president. It's just really interesting. It is just really interesting. So I would love to hear your take on why all of a sudden these things are just popping up in his home. Like, y'all went through once, twice, 3 times, and y'all said that y'all got them all. Then y'all went again this weekend and found more. Didn't you look in those places the last time? Yeah, this is not making sense to me. And I really want to know, is it making sense to you? I just want to have this conversation. So let me know in the chat what your thoughts are about that. While you're putting in the chat, let me tell you what's happening at the White House. We haven't done that in a while. I see you, Cassandra. Good morning, girl. I haven't given you White House news in a moment, so let me give you this week's. Today, the president will return to the White House from Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. So he was somewhere in the area when they found these documents. On Tuesday, tomorrow, the president will host Democratic congressional leaders in the White House. He will also host a White House reception for new members of Congress. I wonder who's going to show up, George or Anthony or Aunt George, Anthony or AD. I'm going to get to that in a moment. On Thursday, President Biden will travel to Virginia to deliver remarks on our economic progress since he has taken office. And the White House will host a Lunar New Year reception in the East Room. On Friday, the president will travel to Camp David, excuse me, where he will remain over the weekend. So that's what's happening with the Biden administration and all the places he's going this week. I see you, Dr. Antoinette. All right, let me see what some of you are saying. Rosanna's saying, I think they were planted by an insider that have access. That's interesting. Marion says they are finding documents that were never missed, but the former guy took documents and would not return them. I think the documents were planted, not found. Very interesting. I see you, Misha, coming up in here. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, this is mind-boggling to me. Y'all were just in that same place. The other thing, first of all, I didn't know homeboy drove a Corvette. Biden, see, y'all think he old and crazy. Man got a Corvette. And I read one of the conversations in the press room where he talks about no one touches my Corvette. How are these boxes next to my Corvette? I mean, he was adamant about that. So that's just very interesting to me. But he let everybody know he has a Corvette locked up in his garage. All right, y'all, the 118th Congress. All right, Andrew Kaczynski, an excellent CNN reporter, has found after researching George Santos for a couple of weeks, every name he has encountered him using. Y'all ready? He has been known as Anthony Santos. Now, these are like serious documents, and his name keeps changing. Remember when the recorder during the vote during the vote time for the speaker, at one point she called his name and didn't answer, and then she was on the hot mic saying, "Was that his name?" Well, that's a great question. We have George Santos. We have George Anthony DeVolder. That's another name he's used. He got aliases, y'all. He was been known as George DeVolder, George A.D. Santos, Anthony Zabrowski, George Anthony Santos DeVolder. What? So these are all the names of this person, and we have no idea his name, and people are digging to find out what's his name. So people are saying pretty much, even from his name and the way he filed, that it should have exempt him from winning that seat. So there's a lot of people who are coming forward now saying they need to do this all over again. Fred says, my man got multiple witness protection names. That's something. Riakis, good morning. Y'all, welcome, Riakis. He has been away doing some things, self-care, doing some things, traveling, enjoying life. And he is on here today. I've been checking on him through Twitter. It's so good to see you, Riakis, this morning. Yes, Fred, he has multiple names. He has a lot of names. So that is happening. Y'all, over the weekend, once we got off the live on Thursday, y'all, judge orders the former guy to pay, and lawyer, not just him, but and lawyer, to pay nearly $1 million for lawsuits targeting Hillary Clinton. Y'all, more and more things are coming out. They are pressing him. And that's the other thing I want to say, not conspiracy, but when I look at things, I look at the timeline, and I'm like, okay, this came out. And then right about that 24, 36 hours later, documents are found. So I've been checking that back. And I want you all, don't take my word for it, do your own research. I want you all to check out every time something has come down the pike for the former guy, documents are found anywhere from 36 to 72 hours later in the Biden side. It's very interesting. It's almost as if the documents keep coming up so that the headlines for the former guy, they don't stay out there. So it's just really interesting. I see you, Lori. Adrian saying, Katina has multiple alias, highly suspect. Listen, there's a lot of things going on. All right, y'all. So then we had really horrific news. The suspect in the mass shooting, well, that's not horrific, the suspect in that mass shooting at a dance studio in Monterey Park, California, died of self-inflicted gunshot wounds. What's horrific is that there was a rampage at a dance studio star ballroom dance that really catered to the older population. Left 10 people. It was a mass shooting. Now, I don't know if all 10 died or if they are all 10 injured. So, if anybody has that information, I'm getting stuff that comes in. Y'all know it slides in my screen. So that happened in Los Angeles County. The suspect body was found inside a van in Torrance, the authorities said, after a manhunt that stretched across the Los Angeles region. Now, to my understanding from the different sources that I have been reading and seeing, and I'm constantly getting updates. So that's what's happening as I'm going through this. The system I use will give me updates to the stories. And so what happened, there was some people trampled him, took the gun, he got away, and then there was a manhunt for him. And then he was found in a van not far. So 10 died and 10 injured. Thank you, Roseanne. That's what I thought, but I was being very careful. I didn't want to give you the wrong information. So thank you, Rosanna. 10 died, 10 injured. Because I thought 10 died. And then the thing updated that said 10 people injured. I think that was the latest. Hester said, wow, can't even go dancing. Thank you, Kim Edmondson. According to HuffPost, all 10 died. So, y'all, that's what's going on in the world today. So, you have to be mindful of your surroundings, not fearful, but mindful. Y'all, with that, I want to go to this next story. And I really would love you all's participation. If you're listening by audio or the podcast platform, if you're able to jump on either LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook and join the conversation or join it later, because I really want to have this conversation. And right now, we're trying to vet a few people who could come on the show to share about this, because this isn't going away. And I want to talk about book banning, but not only book banning, the headline reads DeSantis administration rejects proposed AP African American Studies class in Florida high school. CNN broke this story. Steve Cantamo is the writer of this. It says starts with the administration of of Republican Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida is blocking a new advanced placement course for high school students in African American studies. Now, Juliana Kim, NPR reporter, is saying that Florida Department of Education has rejected an advanced placement course covering African American studies, saying the class indoctrinates students to a political agenda. How is my skin color, my background, my roots a political agenda? It goes on to say, in a quote, as submitted, the course is a vehicle for political agenda and leaves large gaps that can be filled with additional ideological, ideological material, which we will not allow. And this is Brian Griffin, Ron DeSantis press secretary. But scholars who were involved in creating the curriculum say that's far from the truth. So there's a quote from Christopher Tinson, the chair of African American Studies Department at the St. Louis University, told NPR, "There's nothing particularly ideological about the course." I can't get that word out to say my soul this morning. About the course, except that we value the experiences of African people in the United States. The other thing that's a red flag, and I want us to talk about it because, of course, I went digging. What has been approved and is currently being offered are the following: AP European History, AP Art History, AP Japanese Language and Culture, AP German Language and Culture, AP Italian Language and Culture, AP Spanish Language and Culture. The one that has been chopped is AP African American Studies. Hmm. So I did a post, and this is where I want you to chime in. And we'll talk about this just for a few moments. I did a post and said, one cannot erase history. What is the point of blocking a new AP course for high school students on African American studies? How do we stop these shenanigans? And that's the post that I put out there. And I want us to have this conversation. How do we stop these shenanigans? So of course, in my conversations with people around me, We said, well, we can offer them ourselves in our homes, in the libraries. And I said, I don't know about the libraries because the libraries are now starting to ban books. And if we have a group, which you now have to identify the group and that anybody can come when you're using a library space, maybe they won't let us have a conversation there. Then we said, then we'll do it at schools or we do it at churches. And I said, but why do we have to do this? I said, it's almost like the we have to go to underground to teach our history. And why do we have to do that? Voting is a way to stop these shenanigans, but people have to understand and connect the dots when it comes to voting. So what do we do? I want to hear from some of you. I see um, Dr. Antoinette says, so in Florida, the governor has enough time to approve classes. And let's talk about that too. Is that the norm that the governor inserts themselves in what's happening with the curriculum in high schools and middle schools and elementary schools? And then Dr. Antoinette says, my opinion, he's coming from for HBCUs next. And I'll have Isaiah start grabbing some of these. Fred Jones says, but they have African American studies in colleges and university in Florida. Right now they do, but from some of these articles, some of that is starting to be discussed. Marion says they are trying to erase history. I'm going to go back up also to Dr. Antoinette. She says, my opinion, he's coming for HBCUs next. We want to talk about that as well because, y'all, that could be on the chopping block. And we have to determine how we're going to protect um, that institution as a whole. Misha says they have much bigger fish to fry, yet choose to meddle in this pathetic. Kim Edmondson says, do everything but Black studies. Yeah, so everything but Black studies. I gave you a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I've been able to find. Um, Lori says, clearly wrong. The students across the country are going to have to stand together to demand it along with their parents. Okay. Um, he's getting paid to be petty. Yeah, Kim, he is. So, y'all, this is happening. Now, I'm bringing this out here and I want to have this conversation because I believe we have a responsibility as well that goes taking us right back to town hall meetings. Fred said, let's keep in mind that he's going to run for president 2024. And Fred, I'm going to jump in and say this as well. I've been looking at the rhetoric of what Ron DeSantis is putting out here. And it seems like he is speaking to the base of the former guys people to get them to come over to his side because they would want to see something like this. And then Adrian says he's trying to stack the board of schools to wipe out, let me put that up there, to wipe out woke subjects. You know, he signed into law this whole woke act, anti-woke act, should I say. He signed that into law. Um, so we have to pay attention. So y'all, you are sick of me saying this, but we have to go back there anyway. And you're sick of me, and I'm sick of saying it too. This is where we have to go to town hall meetings. We have to. Rosanna says it's like they're trying to roll back time. This needs to be fought. This is where we go and we have our conversations. The other place we need to show up, whether you have children or not, because you pay taxes in those areas, are PTA and PTO meetings. We got to see who's on these boards of these schools. And we need to make sure we vote. Do you know we usually vote for those people without doing any research on them? Because we don't know them. And once our children are grown, if you have children, you're like, I'm done with that. But you're paying taxes into that district. So are you going to those meetings to see what's going on? The superintendent meetings, are you going to see what's going on? The commissioner meetings, are you going to see what's happening? And to Dr. Internet says, still mad that Black Wall Street, let me get that up there. Still mad that Black Wall Street became intentionally known instead of being known in our community. Yeah. A lot that we have to really process. And that's what we pride ourselves here on News in Motion is to talk about these things. Yeah, we read them, we hear it on the loop on our news that we're watching daily, regularly throughout the day. But what are we doing about it? So my call to action today is start thinking about where you want to get involved within your community. We can no longer just sit back and let things roll. Where do you want to get involved within your community? What do you have to bring to the table for your community? What does that look like? Which takes me to my next story. I shared with y'all, I believe it was last week. CNN broke this and CNN came back with it. I see Ladybug coming in, y'all. She has been on the social media fast. So to see her name pop up, I just want to say, hey, girl, how are you doing? She has been on a social media fast. So y'all, CNN broke it and they brought the update, and that is police issued an arrest warrant Wednesday charging the gallery owner. Y'all remember the gallery owner, Shannon Collier Gwynn, who sprayed the homeless woman? Um, they charged him with misdemeanor battery, excuse me, for the alleged intentional and unlawful spraying of water on and around a homeless person. This is coming from the district attorney. Brooke Jenkins said in a tweet. The arrest stems from an interaction from January the 9th. Officers responded to the scene for a possible assault. They have now charged. Now, let me share this about that, y'all, and how I'm connecting the two. The community said, we're not having this. No, something needs to be done. We have a homelessness a situation in our area is continuously growing. How do you just come out? She was not in his store. She was outside. And then when you look at the picture, she's not even in front of his door. She's down a little bit further, sleeping. It's cold. He sprayed her with the hose. So the community came together and said, absolutely not. This is not going to happen. They started writing the representatives. They started calling representatives. They started protesting. They demanded change. Y'all, this is how this works. They demanded change. And if we want to see a change with this book banning, we need to demand a change. This should not be okay. We just cannot sit back and say, okay, they're doing this again. What will you bring to the table? Will you write postcards? Will you put stamps on the postcards? Will you take and mail the postcards? What part will you play within your community? Will you go and check out the books at the library? And that's another thing that's starting to pop up. I want y'all to follow this story. They're starting to say, well, these books are never checked out, so we don't need them anyway. Go to the library. Don't just sit down and read the book. Check the book out. Just make sure you take it back so you don't get a fine in three or 4 weeks or however long how many weeks. Go with you can go with your straight fire organic tote from News in Motion. Go with that. Fill it up with books. Take them. Even if you don't read them, but I'm telling you to read them. I think you'll find something amazing in there. Check out books, read them, take them back. Encourage other people to go to libraries, check out books, read them, take them back. Let them know that, yes, we are reading these books, but they're starting to target libraries saying, well, these books haven't been checked out anyway, so we don't need them on our shelf. We have to go. We have to take action to say why. We just can't come out the woodwork and say, keep these books on the shelves. Show that we're reading the books, show that we're checking out the books, show that we are a part of it. Get yourself a library card, people. Yeah, we have Google, we have uh, um, Kindles and all that, iPads and all that, but still check out the books. Y'all, don't let them kill us like this. Don't let that happen. We have to do our part as well. So that's my call to action to all of you today. Go to the library, get your library card, check out books. Have small group sessions talking about books. Do it, y'all. Make a difference. And don't just do the nice, frilly, easy books. Don't just do The Light We Carry by Michelle Obama, although it's a great book. Do other books. Diane says the library has already reduced inventory. It's sad. And they're saying because we're not checking out the books. And the ones that they're reducing are the ones that pertain to us, our background, our heritage, our culture. We're the ones that are being the target. So let's do something about that. Jacqueline says, I still use the library even for meetings. Yeah, and we have to do more of it. We have to do more of it. I'm starting to see the libraries that are popping up in the communities outside of homes where people can take them and exchange it. That's good, but also make sure you are taking the books, checking books out of the library. And then the other thing is when libraries have book sales, go and buy up some books. Go and buy them up. Don't leave our books still on the table. Go and buy them up. And then do something again. Have a coffee chat, coffee and book chat at a Panera or a coffee shop or whatever. Do that. We have to do our part to continuously make that difference. Okay, y'all. I hope y'all are hearing me when I say this. So I want to move into our inspirational message. And that inspirational messages goes right to what happened with this art gallery, with this gallery owner. Be on your best behavior. Now with phones, now with instant things going viral, people are watching. But don't just be on your best behavior. Be the behavior that you want people to witness. Be the behavior that you want people to see. What's on the inside of you? If that's that advocate, be that person. If that's that person who's going to mentor you or encourage you, be that person. Be that person that you want to display. I'm going to see what some of you are saying. Diane Ladybug said, hello, Gail. Thank you, everyone, for your prayers and words of encouragement. Mike Nicholson gave thumbs up. Rosanna says, going today to check out some books. Thank you. Diane Ladybug said, like magazines, it's so easy to read online. I personally love books and a pen and paper person. Um, and Lori says, be on the behavior you want people to see. Y'all, that is so important. It is. It's one thing when we just show up at places, it's something totally different when it becomes our practice. When it becomes that. I went to an event Thursday and Friday to support my husband at the seminary. He did a phenomenal job preaching. He did 2 lectures in an evening service. I don't know if Pastor Anita is still on here or not, but she was there. She can tell you just how powerful that message was. Um, and he hit hard. And I have to be honest, we're in a very diverse room and he is hitting hard. And I'm sitting there thinking, you're going to get fired today because you coming for the people. But he didn't care. He didn't care. He was hitting hard. He was bringing truth. And when he was bringing that truth, I was like, man, if we would just all understand the power that we have to do the work of the community. If you have not signed up for my free e-newsletter, you can go to gaildudley.com. It's a free, it'll say subscribe, get it. Today it will drop at 11 a.m. And I pushed it back a little bit this morning because I wanted to give you an opportunity to sign up so you could get it. Now that I have been vetted on all these different platforms, I now receive what they call the quality payment program that deals with Medicare and Medicaid. In that e-newsletter, you don't have to look for anything today. You click that link, that whole digital PDF is going to download for you. It really talks about how providers are charging Medicare and Medicaid patients and the questions you should ask and what they look for. So this is like I'm giving you provider information that's going to help you to be your best advocate in the healthcare. And if you did not listen to the podcast, our new podcast, Politics and Prose, Isaiah, if you could pop that up, y'all, Politics and Prose, I am shocked how once we made that change, things are happening. So, y'all, this is episode 3, Healthcare Systems and Patient Advocacy with Nawana Turner. Y'all, she gives us some serious details, and this podcast goes almost hand in hand with the information I put in the e-newsletter. Thank you, Isaiah. But y'all, people are downloading this podcast from all over. I'm like, what is happening? Sometimes you just need to make a shift. I was carrying News in Motion to Friday. No, News in Motion is Monday through Thursday. We're now bringing in different guests for Friday in the new podcast, Politics and Prose. If you listen to her first, that just download on any podcast platform. And then some of you are looking for it. First of all, don't Google it, y'all. You have to go to the podcast platform, whether that's Spotify or Apple or Amazon Music, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, those. And you put in the search bar politics. You got to use the and symbol, politics and prose with Gail Dudley. You put that in there. Somebody type that in there. Isaiah, if you can put that up there. Politics, the and symbol, prose, Prose, with Gail Dudley. Put that in the search bar of any of the podcasts and it'll pop up. Y'all, it is popping off. And I just want to say thank you to all of you for your support in doing that. It has been phenomenal. I just sat back. Politics and Prose sent me, not Politics and Prose, um, our platform, which is Buzzsprout, sent me an email about Politics and Prose and said, we have never seen a new podcast take off this fast, and you're only at the third episode of the first season. Y'all, that's what's happening. But again, I want to go back and talk about consistency, y'all. Consistency. Consistency is key. So that's in there. But y'all, when y'all put that in there, politics and prose, make sure you put with Gail Dudley so it'll pop up. Hester said, I listened to the interview with Nawana. It was great. Thank you. Kim said his message was very similar to Gail's daily message on the show. Kim Edmondson was there on Thursday night. That's right, Kim. It was just, I just sat there like, wow, this is my husband. So we make a good tag team, if you will. We make a good tag team. All right, y'all. So sign up for the e-newsletter. The e-newsletter is at www.gaildudley.com. It'll pop up on the home screen. Once it pops up, just go ahead and sign up. You want to do it by at least 9 o'clock Eastern time, because that e-newsletter will hit at 11 o'clock. And let me tell you, no, don't text me saying if I would just send it to you. Get the newsletter so it's all right there. Just get the newsletter. It is all right there. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything. Oh, some of you were I got a quick text message. Where can you get the straight fire bag? We'll tell you. You can go to gaildudley.com. You can get the straight fire mug, the long sleeve t-shirt, or the organic um, grocery toter bag to put all your books in when you go to the library. Just go to gaildudley.com. There's an icon up there that says shop, grab it, and you can go. All right, y'all. That's all we have for today. This has been News in Motion for Monday, January 23rd, 2023. Y'all know what I say. Stay well, everyone. And remember, make some bold moves.